Well, welcome everybody. It is a Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening now there in Iowa and East Coast. We decided to do an emergency broadcast or podcast, I should say. Big news coming out of the University of Iowa in a couple different ways. So I would like to get the easy one out of the way first because that's going to have the least conversation. You will see Kelvin here. He may disappear during the show. So if he does, forgive him.
Mhm.
All righty. Kelvin, I first wanted to hang on. I wanted to start with the Emily Rodriguez news because you remember we talked about that the other night. Okay. All righty. Yeah, so we talked about that the other night about Emily Rodriguez, and we were kind of speculating on what might be going on based on Jan's thing of on the team as of now. And we kind of speculated different things. I don't think I saw this one coming. And so do I got the well anyway,
all it said was she is suspended from the team for breaking a team rule.
Yep.
I don't know anything more.
Yeah.
I just sent you the picture as soon as I got it. And
yeah, it just says that she will not be making the trip to New York because she's on definite suspension due to team violation of rules. According to the source, Rodriguez has the opportunity to rejoin the team if she recommits to the standards. And so I'm not going to speculate what those standards are, you know.
We've seen plenty of people, football players and other people, but this one here had connotations beforehand, but I have no idea. Sometimes the kid drinks and drives, could be academic, could be something way more than that,
But because of the timing of our podcast the other night, we were the first ones to read into Jan's words as of now. And now I've seen other podcasters coming out and talking about it now. And I'm thinking, I was telling my wife when I was listening to, what's his name on, you sent me the podcast. Oh, shoot, I can't think of his name now. Lock On Hawkeye guy. But anyway, he's the one that started to read into it. Him and his co-host this morning read into it too. And I was telling my wife, I was the first one to read into it. Nobody even thought about it until I said that.
The first guy, I have to give On3 credit. The first guy that asked the question and got the answer at the end of the podcast was Kyle Huseman of On3, and he speculated as to what that meant. And I said, I'm not a big speculator. If somebody wants what are possible reasons, academics, drinking. She didn't show up on the bench for the last game. There's been other people speculating things about NIL money. She wants more money, and she was mad that she was behind Kylie Feuerbach, but I don't know any of it. And she yelled at Jan in a practice. Well, if kids got suspended for yelling at the coach at an Iowa women's basketball practice, Caitlin would have never played.
I was just thinking the same thing. She even yelled at her teammates.
And women and girls on the team 20 years before Caitlin yelled at the coach back. That's just coach player relationships. But I don't know. We're just speculating.
I did want to say that Caitlin used to yell at her favorite teammates, but they took it all in stride, said it's Caitlin being Caitlin, and they're still best friends today.
Yeah,
all right, let's talk about the other big news. Let's talk about Lavar Woods accepting the assistant coach job and special teams coordinator at Michigan State. School. Now we got to play against him.
Assistant head coach.
Yeah, okay. I meant to put that down. I forgot to write the head part down.
He said in the news conference that he wants to be a head coach, and he's pretty much just resume building, which anybody knows. I'm happy. To me today, it's a happy day because I'm all in favor of Lavar coming back to Iowa with a better resume, and he's a great guy, But
Now, can we speculate 3 or 4 years down the road when Kirk has said adios that his name will be in the hat along with Seth Wallace's?
And a lot of other people too. But yeah, we've already speculated that for 5 years. So it's like Lavar is the guy that's more like Kirk than any of the other ones. He's a very high character person, which I ain't saying anybody else is high character, but he's got the same personality, big family man. He just a straight shooter with the recruits, which with your assistant coach with Kirk, you do not lie. You do not lie to the recruits and say, "Oh yeah, you can do that here at Iowa." "Oh yeah, you're going to start." So I love Lavar. I covered him in high school. I watched him play in the Shriners game as a senior. He was a running back. And he talked today about he started talking about his mom. She was a single mom, and he started crying. He cries like Kirk does, and he said next it was his two coaches in high school who coached there at the high school for 35 years, and then he come and played for Hayden for a short time, who coached at Iowa for a long time, and then he come to Kirk, who of course has been at Iowa.
Kirk came to him. He was already on the team. He made it sound like he left Hayden Fry and then came to Kirk. He inherited Kirk. He was already on the team.
Yeah, he said Kirk treated the players that were there, just like they were his own recruits and everything. He said he's 48 years old, which he wants to be a head coach. He better get a head coaching job pretty soon. They don't like to hire 55-year-olds. And anyway, he said, "I'm 48 years old, and the 6 years I spent in Arizona are the only years I spent out of Iowa." So he said, this is going to be different. Oh, and he said his son is staying at Iowa.
Mason's going to stick around.
And they said, "Well, was it this great prior relationship you had with Fitzgerald?" And he goes, "I hardly know him." He said he showed up at a few games as the father of his son, and he said, "I respected playing against him. His teams played hard and everything, but pretty obviously he needed to build his resume." And
so now
he was the highest paid special teams coach in the nation. So it wasn't like he was underpaid or anything. I'm just happy for him. I'd love Lavar to be a head coach at Iowa someday, but he better get on it, So
yeah. Well, now we got the Michigan State head coach and the second man in command for Michigan State, having two sons playing for the University of Iowa. Should make an interesting time when it comes time to play against their dads.
And I think a lot of times it's probably a good idea not to play for your dads.
Yeah, and I believe I think that's a pretty good idea. And I agree with you on that. It's nice for the dad because he can watch his sons play, but but also the scrutiny they're under. We saw what happened with Fran's boys, the scrutiny they were under, and the two boys, which is a lot of the reason why his Fran's son decided not to play for the University of Iowa, because he saw the heartache his mom was going through when his two brothers were under a lot of scrutiny from the fans, undeservedly so, and he didn't want to do that. He wanted to carve himself a niche. By the way,
you've seen it. He's not averaging very many points. I looked up his stats the other day. Jack is his name, Jack McCaffrey. I don't know, like 1.9 points a game, not playing a lot. But we've seen it all over the country. Steve Alford's boy playing with UCLA. The UCLA fans were all over that. Hoiberg's boy at Nebraska wasn't very popular until the last year or so, Of course, Licklider's boy, Ferentz's boy. If you're the son of the coach, you're in for automatic criticism from the fans.
I don't think because of Ferentz's, all three of his sons played a key part in playing for Iowa. I don't think the fans were too upset with that. And I know when Brian first got hired, as I think he came in as the line coach first, and then the tight ends coach, and then got promoted to the offensive coordinator. I think a lot of people were on board with that because they thought Brian would, quote, modernize Iowa's offense and could talk his dad into it, But as years went on and the offense got more stagnant, and the quarterback situation became more stagnant, more people were calling to fire Brian. And it's not so much that I actually felt like he deserved to be fired, but it probably was better for him and Kirk both, and for the program, that he'd leave.
But all three Ferentz boys, Kirk was ridiculed when he signed them because none of them were very good prospects coming out of City High or wherever they came from. I think it was City High. Mm-hmm. And the youngest boy, he never played. He never did, really help at all at Iowa. Steve, I think his name was, but there's always critics out there. But I'm happy for Lavar. I'd rather he'd stay, but I'm happy because it gives him a better route to come back. Mm-hmm. In my book.
It actually probably, both him and Seth are assistant head coaches right now, but because he's also got coordinator experience, that might give him a heads up over Seth when they're both apply for the job in the future, because we know that Kirk's days are, anywhere from probably 3 to 5 years down the road, he's out of here. And so we know that those two guys will probably be getting some serious looks from Beth if she's still around. I'm assuming she will be.
They'll be on the list. I don't know if they'll be on the short list because I'm sure Beth will have plenty of really good candidates, because Iowa's a really good job because coaches respect Iowa because they know if they come here, they're not going to be fired after the first year. Something like some of these other schools, but I've been hoping Lavar and Seth would actually go take another job, specifically like a head coaching job, like at Wyoming, or I don't know, maybe Rice, or some school, UCF, someplace where they could prove themselves as a head coach, and then that would help them come back. But we'll see what the future holds. I don't know.
Okay. All right. In other news today, Kirk said in his press conference that they are not shopping, at least not right now anyway, because things could change. But they are not shopping for a quarterback. So all those people, and especially Locked On Hawkeyes this morning, who did a whole podcast on a quarterback, and the other Hawkeye thing that works for Mark Rogers, doing a whole podcast on quarterbacks. Rogers and Corey doing a podcast on shopping for quarterbacks. Might as well throw those podcasts away, because I've been saying, Kirk ain't shopping for one.
I wouldn't say throw them away, because I'm following it too. You know that. Because Tyler Barnes is following portal quarterbacks, but it's only he's only doing his job for insurance. Like I said on our last podcast, for insurance. But Hank Brown played real good so far December in practices here, and Kirk commented that Hank and Peklinski have looked really good. Gronk is just resting. He said none of our veteran starters have practiced at all except run around and stay in shape so far. And he said they won't for a couple more days yet, because he wants them at peak physical condition for the bowl game. We want to win the bowl game.
Yeah, I'm going to guess sometime late next week they'll start practicing and getting ready for the bowl.
He didn't comment who's been looking good, and he just said all the quarterbacks are looking good. And he said at this point, he says, we're not looking for a quarterback. He said, unless I'm very surprised. And then he commented on, what about an intern going to NFL? And he says right now he's not even he's not going to the NFL. He's coming back. And he said, we don't have anybody on the team that has mentioned a single word about going to the NFL early. The only player that anybody asked him in as an individual was, how's Cam Buffington looking? And he goes, he's looking really good. And he said a lot of young players are looking really good. This is what we've used practice for so far.
And linebacker Jacob Wallace was also mentioned, not in the interview, but
cornerback.
Yeah, so
cornerback, number 11.
Yeah, Jacob Wallace. Is he related to Seth?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think so.
He's from a very, very prominent high school in the Maryland District of Columbia.
Oh wow.
High school, number 11, true freshman, and he played really good in the Nebraska game. And he probably played like 12 snaps or something, but he played really good. And
so it sounds like he's making some name for himself too.
He wasn't mentioned at all today, but
not by Kirk, but Chad Lysicle sent out a text message to the text group that from talking to the players, these two names kept coming up by the other players.
Yeah,
and Cam Buffington was the other one. It
was pretty obvious watching the Nebraska game that Wallace kid, for a true freshman, was playing really, really good. So
yeah, and maybe he'll be our starting cornerback next year, or at least get a lot of playing time.
He's the guy that Tyler. People always, whenever we get a cornerback really late in the recruiting process, they always go, "It's a Phil find." Everybody thinks Phil found it. Well, Phil don't like recruiting. Phil don't even like looking at tapes or anything. He's a Tyler Barnes find, and Tyler Barnes sent it. They were looking at some big recruit on the team, maybe for this year or something. And he said to Phil, well, he called the coach out there and he goes, "Who's this Wallace guy that looks so good?" He goes, he's a great player, practices hard, and he says he's just being under recruited. He's getting, like UMass is recruiting him and stuff like that. And so then Tyler said, "Hey, Phil, you need a good cornerback? Here's one. Here's the tape." So that's how they got him.
Yeah, I suppose we should let people know that that Tyler Woods is not Tyler. Lavar Woods is going to coach through the bowl game, which is great because a lot of times they don't allow the coaches to do that, but it is done. It's it's not a, like Kirk said, it's just on an individual team basis. It's whatever they want. I like your thing on there. I just read it. Ace Reporter.
When Jason said you can make your own title on there, I thought, oh, every time I'll come on, I'm going to put a funny one up. So
I should put on mine.
I'll probably put Bah Humbug or something. But
my nickname on our other group thread is Old Timer. Maybe I should put Old Timer on mine.
I live right off Blackhawk Road. I almost put Blackhawk Broadcasting Company on it, but I thought
Broadcasting is where my dad used to work for KWWL.
I know that. Yeah, they started the Hawkeye basketball network.
Yes, they did.
And I used to watch Ron Steele and all them guys, Jim Ganal and all of them, growing up. But I thought that might be infringement or something if I put Blackhawk Broadcasting Company.
I don't think it wouldn't be, because there's no more Blackhawk Broadcasting Company.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
It would not be infringement since they're gone. I don't know. You follow my personal page, right? Did you see the picture I put up of my dad's old family car with KWWL written all over it?
Yeah, I've seen that. You said that was your brother.
Yeah.
I can't say that I see everything you post because I have so many friends, but on Facebook. But anyway.
I don't know. You got anything else you want to add to it? I mean, this is probably a good place to.
No, I just thought it's a good. I keep whenever this news broke, and then I posted it on Facebook, and then everybody in the comments is just so negative, like, well, there we go, Kirk losing another coach, like Kirk loses a coach almost never, and I just thought, well, people always comment and they haven't even listened to the news conference. They don't even know the details. I'm sure Kirk's not thrilled losing Lavar. Hayden was always really not too happy, when Barry Alvarez went to Notre Dame and Dan McCarney went to Wisconsin and Bernie Wyatt went to Wisconsin to join him. Hayden wasn't pissed if a coach left for a head coaching job.
Yeah.
So I don't think Kirk's overjoyed, but I doubt that he's really mad either. But
he's probably happy
anyway.
for him. He's probably really happy
I
for
think so. It's like one of his kids leaving the nest,
He said it was good for him. It was also good for the university. So I'm not sure what the take on that part is, but the
only other thing Kirk talked about was the Vanderbilt, how great Pavia is, how great their tight end is, how great a team they have. Just a tremendous offensive team, and a tremendous team overall. That's all Kirk talked about was the bowl game, and then he surprised us. I never got. Sometimes you hear some rumors. I never had any rumor about Lavar. Nothing. I was like shocked. We got some coaching news.
Yeah. Well, didn't we get? Was it he or was it Seth that you said turned down the Nebraska job? Wasn't?
And Seth. I think Seth turned down Fitzgerald first, and he turned down Matt Rule $2 million, and he also last week turned down Rutgers. Shiano wanted him as his defensive coordinator, but Seth. I think the only way Seth would leave would be, Lavar left for a step up from special teams coordinator to assistant head coach and special teams. Lavar did that today. For Seth to leave, he'd have to get a step up, like a head coaching job or something. And it just seems like colleges never hire coordinators anymore. It's like, Bill Snyder would have never got a job, I guess. Barry Alvarez would have never got a job. Kirk Ferentz would have never got a job. But
the cool thing is Hayden Fry said that he wouldn't hire somebody who didn't aspire to be a head coach someday, because that's what he wanted leading his team, because that made them winners. And so the Hayden Fry coaching tree is something special.
Yeah.
A lot of their. Well, anyway, I think
everybody, everybody's got to click the like button.
Oh yeah, please! If you're watching it right now, hit that subscribe button in front of you. Then hit the like button. We want you to hit the like button because you're happy for Lavar, not because you're sad or mad that he's leaving. Because if we all had our preference, we'd still keep the best special teams coordinator in college football in Iowa City. But we'll find somebody else. Maybe even Seth. Aren't we
happy that Hayden wasn't just a quarterback coach at Arkansas for 60 years? He left. End up at Iowa. Lavar might end up at Iowa again.
Yeah. That's you have some great assistants when there's everybody out there trying to bring him into the fold. So
and hopefully Emily Rodriguez will be back on the team and playing and starring for Iowa for 2 more years after this year.
Yeah, whatever her attitude is, it's apparently a negative attitude to the culture. So
I don't know.
Hopefully she gets the culture right. And
I don't know what the specifics are. But
I know it's just the way it was worded. You can take that to mean at the very end. If she gets it straightened out culturally wise.
So
okay.
Anyway,
yeah, I'll let you go. Enjoy your weekend. We'll watch some good football starting tomorrow night. Is there a bowl game today?
Oh yeah, 8:00 tonight.
Okay.
Who else playing? Anyway, I better get going. Everybody
Alrighty.
share the hell out of this, people.
Yeah, please share it. I'm going to start sharing right now.
Mhm.
So go have fun tonight, bud.
Okay.
Have fun. All right.
Bye.
Talk to you later. Bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.